Hey, what's up, everyone? You are listening to the Tetsudo Mokei podcast edition. I'm your host, Kennedy, and it is episode 36. Hope everyone's having a good start of their weekend. And, of course, the big news of the week is pretty much for travelers going to Japan. You no longer need to do the COVID test. Starting on, you don't need a vaccination certificate or test certificate before departure. So that's a plus. But you still have to do the QR code. So remember to visit the Visit Japan website to get your immigration QR code and your customs QR code and get that taken care of. So the last thing you want is to arrive at the airport and wait in line for a long time because you have to fill it out and join others who didn't even know about the QR code as well. In addition, especially if you have a connecting flight or you have to travel from Narita to Haneda, and being stuck in line can also affect things. So, get your QR codes done in time so you don't have to worry about that. But for the most part, I think this is great news for those traveling to Japan and just making things much more convenient. So that is a major plus. Okay, let's go ahead and start off the episode with some news. Okay, so this video that we're going to watch is from Maeda, and it's gone viral. And I think it's a video that is interesting to people because it's about the Yamanote line, the E235, and how it leaves right after another E235 comes within 1 minute later. And this is, I think the people from the countryside were shocked and commenting about it because they have to wait long durations from one train after the other. But in Tokyo, they have an E235 1 minute after the other one just departs. And I think there's some people in the countryside who have a hard time understanding that or comprehending that. And I was reading some of the comments like, wow, Tokyo is crazy. What happens if it doesn't make it within the minute or they're late? So, yeah. Let's check out the video here.
まもなく一番線に渋谷品川方面行きが参ります。危ないですから黄色い点字ブロックまでお下がりください。Your attention please. The train bound for Shibuya and Shinagawa will soon arrive on track number 1. For your safety, please stand behind the
Here's
yellow
another
line.
Yamanote line E235 right
この
here.
電車は渋谷、恵比寿、目黒、五反田の順に停車します。
I love the E235. Love the Yamanote line. Always ride this train. So that's the video pretty much right there. But yeah, it's pretty much, I think it's interesting because again, a lot of people who live in Japan, they don't see Tokyo, how the trains operate. So they're used to their trains and having to wait 5, 10, 15, 20, or even minutes or even several hours, depending on where you live. But yeah, this is how the Yamanote line is in Tokyo. And there's always one train after the other, and that's the efficiency, especially during, with travel back, coming back, and how it almost reaching normality pre-pandemic. So I think that's pretty efficient and interesting. But at the same time, again, I can understand why people in the countryside just can't understand how is this possible. So it's just really interesting because I think let's see here, how many people have. So 3,124 retweets, 509 bookmarks, 16,000 likes. I'm going to give it a like because I find the comments really interesting. But it's from my X, And yeah, it's just fun. It's just fun to read those comments. But okay, we'll go on to the next news. Wait a minute, what is this? So this is on the Newsdig TBS. So unauthorized intrusion into railroad tracks, cutting trees without permission, troublesome photographers on the JR Hakubi line. Townspeople are complaining about these photographers. In order to exchange information on the etiquette of Toritetsu, railway photography enthusiasts discussions have begun by local government to discuss the problematic photographers, I suppose. The three towns along the JR Hakubi line where the limited express trains, and the police and JR decided to work on a joint countermeasure towards these photographers. Wow, has it gotten that bad? Has it come to that? On the afternoon of the 21st, at the Hino Town office in Tottori Prefecture, a discussion was held on the manners for taking pictures along the Hakubi line. In addition to Hino Town, Ninshinan Town, Kofu Town, Tottori Prefecture, as well as the police and JR, a common concern is the etiquette of the Toritetsu, which is aimed at express trains. Okay, let's see. There are a lot of Toritetsu. There are a lot of people from outside the prefecture, Kansai, Kanto, coming over here. Along the Hakubi line, due to the revival of the Limited Express, Yakumo Color, the 100th anniversary of the opening of Nesame and the Kurosaka Station, there's a lot of excitement about taking pictures of trains. Residents along the railway line said that in places that are suitable for photography, the Toritetsu can enter the fields without permission and they throw away their garbage. Usually most Japanese I know usually pick up their garbage, but let's keep on going. So there have been incidents in which Toritetsu has invaded the tracks and been arrested. A resident of Hino Town said, "I parked my truck there to do farm work, and they told me to move the truck away. When I went to Hinocho's spots on the weekends, when there were a lot of visitors in March, there were so many train photographers." At this time of the day, I think this is the area where the sunlight hits the train heading north. It is said that this place is popular in Hino Town because it's the perfect spot where the sun shines in front of the train. After a while, the local police arrived. The policeman says, "I just came here from the other side." The police are also calling attention to the fact that there are cases where Toritetsu has invaded tracks and have been arrested. Last year in Hoki Town, Tottori Prefecture, there was a problem with the Limited Express Yakumo. People, I guess the photographers shooting the Limited Express Yakumo. Newscaster Kobayashi Kazu said, "The field of sunflowers in the background and this tree in the middle of the track ahead looks like it was cut out artificially." Ozaki Sumika. Oh, let's see here. Oh, wow. Oh my gosh, are the photographers cutting off the trees too? Oh my gosh. Ozaki said, "This tree has been cut down from the base. Only about 10 centimeters remain." It is said that the 3 persimmon trees planted along the railroad track have been tampered with by someone without permission. The landowner said, "You gotta be kidding me. Gotta be kidding me." Parking violations, illegal dumping of garbage, complaints from the townspeople. It seems for the tree, it looks like it was cut with a chainsaw, and the owner man believes it was cut down to create a composition that does not overlap with Oyama when taking pictures of Yakumo. So then the discussion started to discuss the violations of the Toritetsu's etiquette. According to JR, it's the first time in the Sanyin region that related organizations have come together to tackle the issue of manners of taking pictures. On the 21st, the problem behavior of the photo of the Toritetsu was shown, and behaviors such as parking violations, illegal dumping of garbage, unauthorized entry into railroad tracks and fields, and unauthorized cutting of trees along railway lines were reported. Hinotown, there are also complaints from the townspeople about the bad manners of the Toritetsu. I would like to realize that both sides have a good relationship. Is decided that the launch of a new type of Yakumo is expected, and the number of Toritetsu will increase further. Through patrol activities through the railway line, we are calling for people to follow good manners and enjoy taking photos safely. Wow. Just discuss those things throughout the week and the weekend. So for today's episode, we're going to kick off with the big news that Takara Tomy, of course, is doing increase in pricing from Tomika, Plarail, and also the Rika-chan stuff, merchandise. So there is going to be a total of about, let's see here, 73 items that are going to go up by 8.5%, starting on shipments on June 1st. This is due to soaring raw material prices and distribution costs. Takara Tomy really did their best to not increase prices, but they said they tried their best to maintain it, but they had no choice but to revise the price because it's difficult to continue sales at the current price due to the continuing rise in raw material costs and distribution costs. So what are they going to increase? Well, pretty much going through the price list of what they're going to increase, it looks like it's all the TOMIX related trains. The TOMIX stuff that's usually about 2640 yen will now go up to 2860 yen, and the sets they're usually like 4180 will go up to 4620. The 13520 will go up to 3850. There, let's see here. One that's 6270 will go up to 6660, and another TOMIX one that's 4180 will go up to 4620. So it's only the TOMIX related Plarail that are going to go up in price, from according to this sheet that Takara Tomy posted on the Plarail site. So again, this is going to be these increases you're going to see across the board already. Electricity, gas, automotive, restaurants, groceries, everything is going up in price. This one's just pretty much a 200 yen increase, so about $2, $1.50 or so increase. But again, that's June 1st, so you still have time to buy stuff if you want. Okay, so you know how I always talk about this, of how railways, especially rural ones and other areas, they need to come up with a business plan to entice people to visit their railway. Well, for this one in Tochigi Prefecture, Nikko City announced a press conference on the 24th that the Watarase Keikoku Railway, Watetsu, will operate a planned train, the zombie train, that looks like a haunted house in June. As part of the Ashio Tourism Regional Development Project the city has been working on since this year, the company and local governments along the railway line were proposed. We aim to stimulate the demand for tourism in Ashio by expanding the use of Watetsu. The planned train will operate 9 times in total from June 4th to September 9th. The section is from Omama Station, Midori City, Gunma, to Sudo Station. The first car is reserved. Since there are tunnels of more than 5 kilometers in length, the city says zombies have appeared in the trains. Passengers can escape to Ashio. It has been 50 years since the closure of the Ashio copper mine, and the strength of the Ashio region has declined significantly due to depopulation. Planned trains are one of them, and the city has proposed to Kiryu City, Gunma Prefecture, and Midori City. So the discussions began last July, and they explained to residents along the line about their plan. So I guess it's all good. A good way to stimulate people to come to the train station. I see. So yeah, why not capitalize on zombies? I'm not sure how the zombies are going to be. If it's just design, or they're going to have zombies on the train. That would be interesting, though. But then again, that would be scary for kids to take part of. The fare is 3,500 yen for adults, 6,000 yen for round trip, and 2,000 yen for children, 3,000 yen for round trip. So we see a little picture here. Let's check it out. Wow, the zombie train. But hey, whatever it takes for people to go and visit a railroad or railway station, it's all good. even if creepy zombies are involved. On to the next news. Okay, so what we are looking at here is the 555 commemorative ticket. From May 5th, the 5th year of Reiwa, Tobu Railway will release a hard ticket 555 or 35 commemorative ticket from Nakai Tabashi Station starting on May 5th. Sales period is from May 5th, 2023 to June 4th, 2023. And this is the commemorative ticket cover image. So, is there a price on that? I'm not sure, but we will find out. I don't see nothing else, but nevertheless, if you do want to take advantage of those tickets, let's see here. Here we go. So these are the commemorative tickets right there. And station numbering system is a system in which stations are represented by the alphabet of the route symbol and the station number. The station number on the Tobu Tojo line is TJ, and 05 is Nakai Tabashi Station. So again, another way for a railway to bring in people. A lot of people love these train tickets or stamps. They collect those, and again, thumbs up for those who are using this to bring people to their railroad station. One-way ticket from Higashi Mukojima Station to Gotano Station is 180 yen for adults. One-way ticket from Kazo Station to 210 yen for adults. And then you got the price of $1,000 per set. It's all good. Well, this one is actually not about trains per se. It's more about the anime related to trains, but this one is in regards to Matsumoto Reiji's farewell party and memorial screening of two movie versions of Galaxy Express 999. So, I absolutely love this series. For those of you who have never seen it, I highly recommend it. It's just really awesome. The Japanese title is, of course, Ginga Tetsuro Surinain. So, what's going to happen here is that the memorial screening of the movie Galaxy Express 999 and Sayonara Galaxy Express 999 Andromeda Terminus Station has been decided. Chiba Tetsuya will serve as an executive chairman for the Matsumoto Reiji farewell party, which will be held on June 3rd at the Tokyo International Forum B7 from 1400 to 1800. Details will be announced later on the special site in Matsumoto's official site, Reijisha. Also on June 3rd, the day of the farewell party, the feature-length animated movie Galaxy Express 999, based on Matsumoto's original work, which was released in 1979 and caused the SF boom in Japan, and its sequel in 1981. The two works will be screened via Dolby Cinema at Marunouchi, Piccadilly. So you can enjoy the world of Matsumoto Reiji with the latest HDR video technology, Dolby Vision, and stereophonic sound technology. Dolby Atmos, where you can enjoy a powerful sense of presence by arranging many speakers on the ceiling and walls. And looks like it's going to be an awesome event. I think this is great for Matsumoto Reiji and also Galaxy Express 999 fans. That is cool. Okay, the next news. Kobayashi Ichizo, a great businessman born in the Kansai region, who built the railways and developed areas along the railway lines in Japan, lived in suburban housing, shopped at department stores, and enjoyed theater and movies. The founder of the Toho Group, this year marks the 150th anniversary of his birth. In 2023, the Itsuo Museum of Art, Ikeda City in Osaka, which houses the art collection of Kobayashi Ichizo, will hold an exhibition to commemorate the 150th anniversary of his book and look back on his achievements. Okay, so the first edition of the Hankyu Showa Modern Picture Book will be from April 15th through June 18th, 2023. This little image right here is the Takara Jienu Takarazuka Girls Review from November 1937 performance. Okay, so this is going to be at the events here, I guess. Let's see what else is here. Kobayashi Ichizo graduated from Keio University at the age of 19 and joined Mitsui Bank and worked at the Osaka branch. He retired in 1907 and founded the Mino Arima Electric Tramway, which is currently known as the Hankyu, Takarazuka Line, and Mino Line. On his 53rd birthday, January 3rd, 1926, Taisho 15, he wrote in a newspaper article, "I want to create a utopia where people can enjoy living alongside the railroad tracks." The lifestyle he proposed is not limited to areas along the Hankyu railway lines. The Kobayashi Ichizo model has had a great influence on major private railways nationwide and on JR after division and privatization, and continues to provide comfort to the lives of people in modern Japan. The development of people's lives along the Hankyu lines in the 1920s and 1930s were taken up. Although there's no clear definition, Showa modern is considered to be a mixture of Japanese and Western culture, resulting from the wave of westernization that swept Japan after the First World War. During this period, young people who adopted the cutting edge of fashion, moba moga, modern boys and modern girls, appeared. Being modern has changed not only fashion, but also people's way of thinking and values. So the age of speed. During this period, the route between Kobe and Osaka were expressed as a single line, and posters with large numbers were probably intended to emphasize speed. What is interesting, in this poster from 1920, Taisho 9, titled "A Comfortable Train Bound for Kobe," the city emblems of Kobe and Osaka are lined up, the wave symbolizing the port of Kobe and Kikusui crest of Minatogawa Shrine, and the rivers and reeds, Namba Grass and Naniwagusa, representing the city of water Osaka are drawn. Okay, let's see if they show the image here. It's cool to read this, but the thing is that without an image, it's kind of a bummer. I don't see anything here, but nevertheless, I think this is going to be a cool exhibition to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Kobayashi's birth. So. I just wish they shared some images on here, but it's all good. Admission fee is 700 yen. High school students 500 yen. Junior and high and elementary school students are free. Seniors age 65 and over is 500 yen. It's closed every Monday, but yeah. Okay, this one's courtesy of Tetsudo.com. The Heisei Chikuho Railway Chikumaru Nanahana rubber key holder will be going on sale. Heisei Chikuho Railway sells two types of renewed versions of rubber keychains. The design of the company's mascot Chikumaru and Nanahana. Sales price is 500 yen each, and the sales start date is May 8th, Monday. Okay. Sales locations include the Kaneda Station window, and they will also carry out sales by mail. But you can see the Chikumaru rubber keychain, and then right there you can see the Nanohana rubber keychain. So, yay! Again, whatever these little railway stations can make money, it's all good. Definitely go for it. Ah, cool. So, BS Fuji will be broadcasting a special program of Tetsudo Densetsu, which is broadcast every Saturday. Tetsudo Densetsu SP Railways Running in the Era of 2023 will be airing on May 7th. And Let's Torekatsu, continuing the JR Kyushu 36+3, will be following on May 8th. So I think that's a very positive news. Let's Torekatsu is shown on YouTube, which is a plus. Program, the 485 series, which was active all over Japan as a limited express train that was produced in a large number of JNR, and the last one retired December last year. The Hokuetsu Express Hoku line, which was abolished in March this year. The Super Rapid Snow, the Rabbit, I guess. Nozuki Takehiro of the music unit Super Bells Z will be riding the Snow Rabbit. Okay. So they got quite a few things planned here. Got old Yoshikawa right here with Ishimaru traveling on Shin Yokohama Station for the Tetsudo Densetsu. And then, of course, continuing from this month's, it's still April, this month's episode. So part 2 of Let's Torikatsu will be shown on YouTube. You guys got to check this out. It's a very beautiful train. It's just incredible. It's just it's luxurious and just really, really outstanding. I was really, really impressed. Okay, on to the next news. Okay, let's take a look at the Yodobashi rankings for trains. Which vehicle is number 1? And number 1 is definitely not a train, but somehow it is somehow in this top 10. But they say that the Toyko Satellite Nissan Paramedic Ambulance is number 1. So let's just say we'll remove that. Let's focus on what is selling the most, and we got the Modaoka Run Shinkansen E6 Series Komachi. So these are the little tiny small trains, just the front only, which you could play on a map. So that one takes the top spot if we remove that ambulance. Third one, or the next one, would be the E5 Series Hayabusa. So yeah, those Modaokas are really becoming popular amongst children, and I think because it's like $5 just for, 660 yen is like $5 USD, so it's really cheap. So it doesn't surprise me that it takes it went up in the rankings. But going to the next one is Toyko Sound Train, the E233 Keihin Tohoku line, followed by the Plarail, the E353 series Azusa, and then we have the next one would be the Biku Shinkansen, the E5 series. This one looks a little bit more green than the usual metallic, like aqua type. Well, I'm not sure what color it would be, but it's a special type of paint. I know that GR has a name for it. But following from that is the Biku's Shinkansen, the N700A Nozomi. And then we got the Thomas the train. I am a driver, remote control from Marka. That takes number 8. But let's say that if we were going to look at the Plarail rankings, and I know it's here. Here we go. So let's let's check this out right here, and let's see what is number 1 on the Plarail rankings. So at first place we have the S32, the door opening and closing E235 series Yamanote line, followed by number 2, the Plarail S18 Hello Kitty Shinkansen. Third place is the Takara Tomy Let's Start Thomas the Tank engine simple rail set. Okay. Fourth place is the Plarail SO7 Type 923 Dr. Yellow T4. Fifth place, we got the KF09 Taki 43,000 tank car. That's pretty cheap, and I actually got a few myself. Amazon requires you to buy 2, so just know that. The next one in 6th place is the Takara Tomy Plarail Thomas the Tank Engine 30th Anniversary Kira Kira Thomas and Harold's Party Collection. In 7th place is the KF05, the JR Freight Containers. 8th place is the latest set, the 2023 set of the Asobi Plarail set. This one was released just last week. So that's in 8th place right there. So that is the Yodobashi rankings. Let's try to see if Big Camera has something. Okay, we're taking a look at the Big Camera rankings. And they don't have a train per se ranking, but they do have a Plarail ranking. And so let's see what is number 1. pre-orders of the 185 series Odoriko Green Stripe takes first place. Well, it's a pre-order, so that's pretty cool. And then number 2 is another pre-order of the Odakyu Romance Car, the 3100 NSE. By the way, prices have gone down for these two on Amazon, so get it while things are cheap. So the third one is the Asobi set for 2023. Fourth place is it's a set. The Hanzomon and the Yurakucho line, Fukutoshin line, double set. So this is another pre-order right here. So that's pretty cool. The next one is the Osaka Metro Chuo line, 400 series. This one's another pre-order. So people are pre-ordering a lot. That's cool. The next one's a set, the Plarail Let's Run with a Cool Layout, the X Rail set, which is a very cool set. This one is in 6th. 7th, the Plarail KFO8 Material Transport Wagon. This is another pre-order. 8th place is a Plarail KFO2 Long Tank Truck. Another one that is a pre-order. 9th is the Let's Enjoy Two Kinds of Slopes set. And then the 10th place, you usually have couplers. And we have more. 11th place is the Plarail ES12 My Plarail Train. The 12th is the AS07, the E235 Yamanote line. 13th is the S32 door opening and closing Yamanote line. Number 14 is the Takara Tomy boarding confirmation. So this is the one with the remote control that comes with the E5 series Hayabusa. 15th place we have the Plarail Thomas the Tank Engine TSO1. 16th place we have the S30 E233 series Chuo line. And then rounding out the rest of the rankings, we have these tracks. Got a double track straight rail, the RO4, the straight tracks of RO1, and the curve tracks, the double track curve for RO5. And then the 20th place is you have the AS11 EF210 Momotaro. So there you go for the top 20. Okay, so for this episode, I want to talk about something pertaining to containers. So when it comes to containers in Japan, this is for freight train containers. You have a few choices out there, especially if you're doing engage. I think one of the most popular, of course, is the TOMIX containers. They have many licenses where KATO has, usually with JR. And when it comes to containers, a lot of people want to have a little bit diversification in their collection instead of just having JR freight, containers. That's all cool. It's all cool. But, while a lot of the containers that you see are JR, there's just so many varieties of stuff there, from Nippon Express, the Japanese Oil Transportation, JOT, the NRS of Nissan and so forth, KRS, Kangaroo. There's just so much out there, really. But one thing that, as for train collectors, that you have to remember, that if you intend to do freight trains and have freight, it's going to cost a bit more. And why I say this is because the first thing you're wanting to do is you're going to have to buy Koki containers. You can get them in sets, which is even cheaper, but they're like this. As you can see, this one's 3100, which is about $26 US or so. Yeah, this is a Koki 35,000. No containers. Just you get these two orange base containers, and that's not bad. That's actually pretty good. But then you see this set right here from TOMIX, which offers 3, and then you get additional containers as well. So that's actually a very good price. But then you could see many more. This is a very popular one, the Yamato transport container. And then you have some new ones here, such as the Hokuetsu line Corporation. They have it in light blue and dark blue. But there are so many varieties of containers, and again, like I said, there's a set right here with KATO offering, Kokis, 106 and 107s, some with the JNR logo, some without. It's depending on how particular you are. One of the newer ones that came out are these 106 models that was just released by TOMIX. No containers, but you get these. It has a valve, and it's really well done. So the question is the price. Well, containers tend to go about like $9 to $8 to $9 for the bigger ones, as you can see here with the Ecoliner 31, and then for the little square ones like this, they're like about $5 for two. Now here's the problem: if you go on eBay, just remember the starting price always with shipping and handling is always going to be $25 overseas. So you need to prepare for that. So for something like this, you're going to see like $30 or $35 just for two containers. So then you have to ask yourself, my gosh, that is so expensive. But if you're just buying only, just one set of containers, that's fine. That's your $35 right there. But if you want more containers, I recommend going through Amazon Japan and then getting several containers, because you get the $25 or whatever shipping costs, no matter how many more you purchase. So you definitely want to take advantage of Amazon Japan if you want to get more containers. It's just the best way of doing things, most economical way than just going online and then having to pay a shipping cost, because they don't combine shipping. So you're pretty much paying $25 there, $25 for the next, $25 after that. No, it's just best to go to Amazon Japan, just pay that one shipping fee. Again, the more you add, it goes from 2,500, or actually 2,500 yen to 2,800 yen, which is about close to $22 to $25, and then it gets gradually higher, but not so high. So, and just remember that with Amazon Global Priority Shipping, it gets to you much quicker. You might actually save more than standard shipping, so just remember that. Okay, so as for the containers, one of the things that some people like to do is just get something like this, because they're big and they take up a koki, and they can put these on, one per koki device. As freight, and then they're just paying $10.18. And a lot of people tend to run a lot of freight if they have a larger diorama setup. So you can do that. You can definitely do that. But you tend to want to mix things up. So as you can see here, you got your Ecoliners, and then you might want to add maybe some petroleum. These come in 2-packs. So you might want to add these so you could put it in your kokis on top of it, and then you have these other ones, and you get the smaller ones. Smaller ones, you want to see if you can get them in 5-packs if possible, instead of just 3. The more, the better. So definitely look out for that. A lot of them come in 3-packs, but sometimes you'll see these KATO ones that come in 5. But yeah, and here's one that comes with 4 with Nippon Express, another JOT one in 5. I like the 5 container versions. Here we go with the Hokuetsu, a newer one that just came out. Then you have the looks like an Enios version right here of the 10-5000 shaped container. The Yamato transports, I have one of these, but just remember they tend to go a little bit high in price, especially if you're going to go for the these ones right here. But they're very nicely made, really well made. And that's one thing with TOMIX. They do a great job with their containers. They make the best containers for Engage, hands down. They have a lot of contracts, a lot of deals with these major companies, and they pretty much gain the exclusives of that. Um, so yeah, you can see here, there's just so many variety that you could add, especially if you're picky about the colors. And there are other companies that make containers, so you just want to pretty much do your due diligence, do your research, and see what's available. And of course, you definitely want to have your freight trains for to pull these freights. So if you're going to get a TOMIX freight train, it probably works a lot better for TOMIX Kokis to haul those, to pull them. So I think in that aspect, it's much better to do things that way, of just focusing on TOMIX if you're going to use TOMIX containers and TOMIX Kokis. Otherwise, if you're going to use KATO Kokis, and then you might want to stay with the KATO train. But just remember that the containers can be put on either Koki, KATO, TOMIX, doesn't matter. Just as long as that it's the right scale, and you should be good. Okay, for KATO releases, they announced their September release, and I know we talked about Takara Tomy's TOMIX, and we know that Hasegawa MODEMO is not releasing anything. There's nothing been announced, unfortunately. But at least with KATO, they're still cranking them out, and they have the EF56 right here in brown. That's going to be very nice. So that one will be about, 8,910 yen, and you got the set at 16,940. So you get 6 cars there. That's pretty cool. Then you got the ED75 right there in the upper right corner. That's a 1000 early model. So that one should be 9,020. So there has been some increases with the single trains, as you can see. So, but again, online stores, they tend to mark them down. So usually you see them going to 6,700 to 7,500. But not sure if this 9,020 is going to stick, but we'll see. Then you get the mall luggage train for the Tohoku. And let's see here. You got the old-fashioned passenger 4-car set. And you have the Series 381 100 Kuroshio. It's right there. That's going to be a nice one right there. 6-car set. 23,650 yen. So you're going to be paying about 220 bucks right there for the 6-car set. A little pricey, but if you really want it, you'll go for it. E5 Series Hayabusa. And let's see here. So the Hayabusa's right there. The E3 Series Akita Shinkansen Komachi. So they're doing sets. Is this a set, or can't really see? It's little small, especially for my bad eyesight here. Got a few cars right here. Toyota Hiace, and then you got they're engaged, so that's pretty cool. They're about 3630 yen, so you're going to be paying about 30 bucks USD. And then you have the Amtrak ALC 42 Superliner. That one is about 18,150 yen, so that one will cost you about 175 bucks right there USD. And then you got the E531, the Joban line, Ueno Tokyo line. And this one will be 15,950 yen for a 4-car set. And then there's add-on sets following at 13,200 and another one for 5,170. So these are positive releases, and this is for September 2023 from KATO. So that's a plus right there. There is also another announcement. Right here. So they got the 211 series, 0 series. So Yeah, look at that. That is really cool. Checking out the various ones here. So the 211 series, um, I know that this one can be utilized in the snow. I know it's a Tokaido mainline, and pretty much the one, let's see, was it the 1000? Is a 0 series. So this is a basic version of the transverse seating. The 1000 series is the one that is used for colder regions. 2000 series right here is a basic version with all longitudinal seating. And yeah, it's an electric multiple unit EMU introduced back in 1985 by JNR, so it's an older train. But for those who have wanted it, you're getting it in September or October. One of those. So, kind of like that orange and green. Kind of like the Ueno Shonan train right there. But for the most part, I think that's a pretty solid lineup for KATO. So it's good to see that they're continuing some newer trains. So that's a plus. Okay, on the Plarail side of things, as mentioned, that the new releases for the Plarail Takara Tomy, you have the Osaka Metro Chuo line 400, and this will be a 3-car train that goes at one speed, a single speed. Hand rolling play is possible, and again, this is an S37. This is something again that I tend to be a little concerned, and I think it's more of cutting costs. That TOMIX is really going for these single speed type of trains, and yeah, I'm not sure how you all feel about it, but if you want to increase the speed, then you can buy a super chassis. But in a way, why do that when they should have had the option to have a faster speed to begin with? And you get the Tokyo Metro Hanzomon line 08 and the Yurakucho line and Fukutoshin line 1000 or 10,000 series. It's going to be coming out as a double set in June. And this one will be about 6,600 yen, so you're going to be paying close to about 59 bucks or so, or 55 bucks at the most. So the Hanzomon line is celebrating its 45th anniversary, and the Rokucho line is celebrating its 35th anniversary, while the Fukutoshin line celebrates its 15th anniversary. So these are pretty much a solid set to get if you're a big fan of the Tokyo Metros. So again, we are presented with a vehicle that is looks like it's going to be single speed as well. So I think this is going to be possibly the future of Plarail releases. I think, of course, with the budget line having a single speed with the ES series, and now the Plarail for their main line can probably have single speed. And I think right now, I think that Takara Tomy feels that, you know what, the adults are the ones who are probably wanting the more faster speed, so maybe they should focus on Plarail Real Class. Could possibly be yet to drive collectors to go towards that line, the newer line, which looks way better, but and is more expensive though. But again, custom materials went up, so I can definitely understand. The long tank truck, the Kevo 2, this one will be sold for 1,100 yen. So keep an eye on that. Eye out on this one, especially if Amazon drops it to 6,000 or 5,000 yen. I mean, not 6,000, but 600 yen. But at the same time, if they do, they're probably going to make you buy 2 of them. So KF08 material transport wagon. You get 4 containers, 2 cranes, and this is going to be 990 yen. So these are all going to be inexpensive, so that's a plus. And of course, the new TOMIX, the TOMIX series will be coming out. These trains now feature more of a cute animated-like face instead of the 3D animation that the series was known for. So this is going to be a new beginning, a new chapter for a lot of these new releases. So they call it the Go-Go TOMIX Plarail Percy, the Go-Go TOMIX Plarail Kana, and you got Diesel and Plarail Nia. So I think that's a plus that these are coming out. Okay, so I want to talk about the Plarail Deluxe book that came out. This one's to celebrate the 60th anniversary of Plarail. And the reason why I got this book is pretty much I like seeing the history of the toys. Not sure if we'll ever see anything like that for KATO or Takara Tommy's TOMIX, showing the histories from the beginning. But with Plarail, it pretty much has been a generational, train toy that has served many children and families for generations. I mean, 60 years, that's a very long time. So, it starts off with some of the newer releases and, what is available for trains. As you can see there with the, since the 2000s, of how see if I can get a focus, the various compartments and how the Plarail kids look like throughout the years, the various tracks. As you can see here, the couplings. It's been very, very cool to see how Plarail has evolved. This one I really like to see how the station is with the workers. It pretty much covers a lot of trains that have existed in the past and present. Steam locomotives, trams, you name it. It's on this book. This is probably the best book about Plarail, hands down. But it only covers up to 2019, up to the 60th anniversary. So if you're looking for 2020 to 2023, you're not going to find that stuff. But it may not even matter because, the stuff that from I think 2017 or so are still being sold up to present. So it pretty much goes through so many of the sets. Let me try to get it right here. Let's see. I need to. Kind of hard to hold up. The tracks, the various tracks available, and this is going to be a little fight of trying to keep things here. See if I can do it from here. It is okay. So these are the history pages, the yellow pages. The yellow pages show everything from 1959 and up. I mean, just look at these trains right here. And it's just really interesting to see how Plarail has evolved over the years, or hasn't evolved, right? So the wheels are still the same. The rubber treads are still the same. Some of the look is still the same. It's just that now you just got different trains painted differently. Okay, so the latest issue of RM Models is out. 333. It's a little bit more pricey compared to previous issues, but this one comes with a little poster that you can use as a photo background. So, but this one features the Kiha 58, the 381 series, the 485 1000s, and yeah, I think if you also get the Kiha 183, 500 to 550s. But it deals with the layout and also various other topics, and I think it's definitely worth checking out for this issue. Oh, one thing I want to do is just a really quick review on this Plarail ES07. So I have the E235 via KATO for an Engage, but I want to get a Plarail version, and But to be truthful, I didn't know if I wanted to get this ES07 because this is part of their budget line. The ES07s or the ES series is different from the standard S series. The major difference is they use stickers for a lot of the detail, and they're also single speed, and they're smaller. So this is the ES07 Yamanote line. And let's go ahead and go back here. You can see here part of the box right there. And so this is how it looks like when you take it out of the box. It comes in the plastic bag, as they all do. And there's the stickers right there. The stickers are just for the doors. And then you have the top portion to add stickers as well. So, and you have the front and rear, which you have to attach stickers. So you just want to be careful when you place them. They're a lot easier than to put on the Plarail, fortunately, than Engage stickers for Engage trains. So you shouldn't have too much of a problem. But here's another look at the stickers right there. And a little close-up of the stickers that you can apply. So this is how it looks like with the front. They're pretty basic for the ES series because they require the stickers to be applied. Here goes another one. They do have cut-through windows, which is a plus. They do have the details, the molding around the doors and so forth, and also the roofs, which is a plus. As you can see, a single speed, just off and on. It can be rolled if children want to use it if they don't have batteries, but it can definitely be rolled. And you have the basic couplers right there. There you go. And here is the rubber tread right there. Oh, speaking of this, so one thing I do recommend for people is to, if you have a chance, if you intend to go collect Plarail, buy yourself these rubber bands. They're really cheap, like 500 yen, like $3 or so. And you get a pack of all these rubber treads, just in case one gets worn out. And also get yourself some extra couplers, just in case you break one, which you shouldn't, but just in case. They're all cheap. Okay, both sides, front and rear, and you just have to apply the stickers. That's how things look with the couplers. And with the stickers applied right there. Stickers applied, as you can see. Me trying to be cheeky by putting this ES07 in an Engage track. I just did it for photo purposes, nothing else. And there you go. But I do like that metallic surface, the metallic silver that they used. That's a plus, so I like that. They do have another version of the E235, and this one with the doors that open and they show people inside, like Plarail kids, but they're like cutouts. You can get that. They did release one that had sound several years ago, and another one that came in a 6-car set, I think, several years ago, but unfortunately you'll have to buy those on eBay for those other two. But the ES07 and the one that where the doors open, you can still purchase. It's for the 235 series, so it's important to note that. Takes a single battery, upside down, just the main tread, and it's on the battery compartment. There's the compartment right there. You just have to unscrew the top part and you should be good. Oh, that's a Plarail. Not Plarail, that's a TOMIX. But anyway, that is the Plarail ES07. Again, I actually congratulate Takara Tomy for releasing these ES series, because I think with children, for their first Plarail, it still remains consistent with the original line, but trying to find ways to sell trains, to make trains popular with kids, and that's to sell something cheap that they can afford. And I think this is very smart because you're taking something that is usually like close to 20 US dollars or 15 US dollars, and now finding ways to make it sold for 7 to 10 US dollars. I think it works out pretty well, and especially during this time in Japan with everything so expensive, it's good to have toys really cheap. Yes, Takara Tomy has announced that they are increasing prices, which is primarily the Thomas trains, but I think that the fact that they have not raised the prices for their main Plarail line, the standard or the ES lines, is great. But I do feel that it's very important, especially now with Japan's population crisis and how it's become an aging society. If you're going to capitalize and promoting trains to children and grasp their attention, now is the time. And I think this is part of it, by attracting them with lower cost trains, and I think that's a plus. And I think it's also a plus that Takara Tomy is also venturing toward the adults line by introducing more realistic looking trains and tracks with the Plarail Rail class, while the standard line will still be the way to get standard Plarail of trains that are available, and trains that are celebrating anniversaries and so forth. I think there's a lot of positives when it comes to that. Plarail still remains, the top, one of the top selling trains in Japan. Engage HO trains, they're popular with enthusiasts, but those are hardcore train enthusiasts, Tetsudo Mokei enthusiasts. Plarail is mainly, while train collectors do get them, like myself, there are people who get them primarily, for children's toys that they can't choke on. As you can see here with the battery compartment, to get the batteries, you have to unscrew it. So it's pretty much a safe product for children. And tracks or no tracks, they'll still run with the battery, and they can be rolled by children, and I think that's a positive right there. So now some of you may be wondering, why are you still getting Plarail? Because this wasn't meant for a test, and I think it's because there are a lot of trains that I like, and there are trains that I definitely will get on Engage, but now with the price increases for the sets, going over $200 to $250 USD, you kind of have to think about the priorities of, do you want to get cheaper trains, or do you want to go get this one train that you may or may not like? I think back, 2022 and 2023, even parts of 2020 and 2021, I think those were times of where people were staying at home and were willing to get trains that they were familiar with, and to really get into the hobby. And I think that part of myself was part of that group that wanted to enjoy, and that still do enjoy, trains and dioramas and building and so forth. But at the same time, when you're staying at home, you kind of, and you put your heart and soul into building these dioramas, these really elaborate ones. You want the trains that you enjoyed and you have ridden in, or things that you really want. But at the same time, with Engage or HO, with the costs involved, it's just going to be very expensive. Unless you're wealthy, then you can buy as many trains as you want. But the thing is that I have a lot of trains already, Engage, and the thing is that there are trains out there that part of me would want to get, but at the same time, I feel that I have too many already, and I should enjoy with what I have, and instead of dropping 1,000 USD just for trains or something like that. It's just you got to be mindful. I've said this many times. Tetsudo Mokei, train collecting or train the hobby is not cheap. It's pretty expensive, but there are ways to enjoy it through basic sets, and there are also other ways to enjoy trains, maybe die-cast metal trains or Plarail. There are other forms of trains that you can enjoy, and I think Plarail really does pretty cool because you have the tracks, you have the speed for some of them, especially those that have double speed, or you can increase the speed through replacing the chassis. But I think for me that I started to realize, wow, these are actually pretty cool. And you may not have the control of going reverse and forward and slowing things down, or making things much more quicker. But I think that's the thing that for me is that it's what I really want, I'll get on Engage. What I feel that I may not want, or I may want, but it's still not, it's not on my priority list. I don't mind getting the Plarail version, because there's just way too many trains out there, and the fact that Plarail can be purchased from $7 to under $20 is very convenient. So you can see why many adults stay with Plarail, because it's cost effective. But then you have the other side of us who also have Engage, and everything costs money. From the containers, as I spoke earlier today, those containers can be very expensive, especially if you have a lot of freight cars, as part of your collection for your freight train, pulling how many kokies, maybe 10 or 12. Some people have a lot going on. And then you got the structures, the trees, the tracks itself, you name it. And again, the Engage vehicles, the buses, the trucks, they're also expensive as well. So you kind of have to pick your battles, and well, it's not more of a battle. It's just pick what you really want and get what you really want, and try to resist any spur of the moment purchases. I think there are a few trains that I purchased without even seeing them, and I always made this rule: I'll only buy trains that I've ridden on or seen. But I noticed that within the last months, I've been purchasing them not knowing much about it, and I'm telling myself, why did I spend this much on this train? I could have got something else that I really, really wanted. Like for instance, that RM models the Kiha that we just saw, the orange and white. I wanted that, but instead I diverted that money towards another train, and unfortunately I don't want to say I regret it. It's just more of, I should stick to things that I really want versus just spur of the moment purchases, because of looks or whatever. And if I do, even if I'm a little lukewarm on it, then I could just get the Plarail version for $10 or so. So yeah, it's the sting on the wallet is, the sting that is not that bad when you're spending $10. Spending $250 on something you may not like, then that's a problem. Speaking of trains, my friend was telling me that when he went to Akihabara, this past 2 weeks ago, he says, man, a lot of those consolidation stores, before they used to have a lot of anime figurines, but now a lot of people are selling their trains. And I think that's part of the big business right now. People trying to sell trains, second-handed, used. That's become the big thing right now, the used market for trains in Japan. I think that, again, you have that aging society that really wants to get rid of their collection, and then you got the another side of the people who actually bought many trains during the pandemic as a way to sway their their boredom or their loneliness or whatever you want to call it when they had to stay at home and couldn't go out. A lot of people were buying trains, but now with everything back to almost back to normal, or the new normal, people just want to sell their trains. And while there's hardcore collectors that'll keep them, I can understand people who want to get rid of trains that they just purchased out of spur of the moment purchase, like I was just talking about. So I don't mind them, I don't mind it seeing people wanting to sell those products that don't, or those trains that don't click with them. So far, every train that I purchased for myself, I really wanted. I think if there was any spur of the moment ones, it would have to be that Cebu 40,000. The train looks cool. I like the look, but the thing is, it's one of those trains that I'm like, did I really want this? And so that's where you kind of have to pretty much judge for yourself. Do you want to sell it, or do you want to keep it? Because you could still make money. That's one of the beauties of train collecting. Maybe Engage, HO, Z, HO scale, Z scale, even Plarail. You can make money on them. Rarely do people sell it cheap for a used version, because there's value in that. You may not get full price, but the thing is that at least you're still getting a good chunk of your change back. So, and you'll see a lot of those secondhand sellers selling on eBay as of late. So, not just eBay too. If you use JAUCE, JAUCE, to purchase from Yahoo Auctions, you'll see a lot of good deals on there as well. So, anyway, this concludes today's episode. A lot of talking and a lot of just rambling, but if anything, there was a lot of train discussions, a lot of anniversary discussions, a lot of news about trains trying to find ways to make money, and I'll continue to promote that. But also just know that in terms of releases, we're starting to see some slowdown and also some price increases. So we'll see how the market changes in that aspect, because it's really interesting to see now that people are big. There are times when you would see certain collections of Engage make it in the top 10 or top 20, but now it's you're seeing some shifting where people are getting Plarail or getting die-cast model trains, and I guess for some people that's good enough. But yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting to see how things continue with train making, especially with the prices, because things are becoming high now, and I don't know if that's going to dissuade certain people from purchasing trains. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Of course, people who really want that train will buy it. Hardcore train fans, again, if you're in this hobby, more than likely you can afford it. It's an expensive hobby, so more than likely you can afford it. And by the way, when I say expense, I do not want to push people away from collecting trains, because you can collect cheaply if you stay within, like, if you get those beginner sets, you get the tracks, you get the train, you get the power, you get the power controller. It's all you need, and you should be good for under $100. The problem is that one train is usually not enough, and then once you get into train collecting, or driving trains, riding trains, or whatever you want to call it, model trains, you'll want a diorama to go with it, and that's where things become to get quite pricey and expensive. So just know that. I say this all the time with episodes. Just be careful, because it's an addictive hobby. But just remember, though, there are other alternatives out there if you do love trains. Again, die-cast trains are becoming huge right now. Plarail has been big for over 60 years. But you do have options, and Just know that. So anyway, you all take care, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.